have it on the administration.
Last day of the
Yeah, we'll bring it up there. Yeah.
I just got some.
supposed to go to county.
Okay, I'm going to call government operations to order. The item number one is really just a placeholder, review of the local law banning straws. We're supposed to have a public hearing last Monday, but little snafu, so the public hearing will be June 10th, I believe is the date.
Yes.
And did anybody have anything that they wanted to speak to in the meantime? No? Okay. Item number two is accept bid and award contract for City Hall window restoration. Mr. Wallen.
Thank you. There's a microphone here, sir. There you go.
Sure. So what we have in front of us is the acceptance bid. Okay, for the City Hall window restoration. As you're aware, this project was bid last year. We only received one bidder. We held the project off till it was a little bit more feasible. We put it out to bid again, and the low bid, as you see, was Bunkoff Construction. We have with us Adam and David from Bunkoff. I invited them here today if there was any questions that have to come up, because I know that this is a project that everybody wants to see done. It was a priority project last year with regards to operations and means and methods. With regards to, all the windows will be taken out, refurbished, put back in. The storms that we know and love will be removed and installed on the outside with new storms. So I wanted to make sure that before moving forward, you guys had your questions answered. So they were nice enough to come to the meeting to kind of answer anything that you have.
Ms. Lewski,
You guys.
So I'm just curious what's going to happen with the air conditioners.
So the air conditioner, yeah, I mean, that's a simple question I can answer, but so the air conditioners will remain, and we are working with, background for it. The air conditioners and how you would, how we talk about handling it.
Thanks for having me. I'm Adam Bunkoff, Bunkoff General Contractor. The air conditioners, any air conditioners that are in right now, placed in the exact location they're going to be put in. So we'll modify the windows. It'll have a storm window on the outside, and then we'll put a blank off panel, if you will, right here. And then the air conditioners will go back. The same exact air conditioners.
No, we want smart city ones. We want.
I was kind of hoping for that.
Some of that money, we're good.
There. Maybe some central air.
Central air, there you go.
So we'll put all the air conditioners will go right back where they were. We'll put panels next to them. Any other questions?
So,
Go right ahead.
okay, so they're going to aesthetically look the same as they look now, or they're going to be in the same, look that it was when they originally were put in?
You're talking the windows?
Correct.
Yes, the windows will look exactly like they did when they were original to this building.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to kind of take them through just real quick, just 2 seconds of what the process is. I mean, we're going to be taking the windows out in sections. We're going to be working on them locally. We're trying to work on them locally. Replacing. These aren't new windows, they're restored windows.
There's nothing
Glazing,
new.
repairs.
There's nothing new?
Just the storm windows are the only part of the window that's new. So your old storm windows will come out and be thrown away, and we're going to put in brand new storm windows on the exterior side of all the windows. The actual windows you see right there, the wood windows, we're going to be, we remove them, we remove all the paint, remove all the glass, clean it, use the existing glass and reglaze it, put the glass in the same spot it was in, reglaze it, repaint the windows, and make sure they're operable, so people can use.
So they'll be like new?
Brand new. Yeah, it'll look like a brand new window.
Abatement kind of thing. So what we're going to be putting back is going to be.
Yeah, there is some abatement on the job. Where the window actually meets the outside of the building, the exterior part, there is abatement caulk and some abatement lead out there that needs to be scraped, grinded off.
There's not. Is there any lead inside the building?
All the paint is lead-based paint.
Everything is?
Yep.
Our windows.
All the windows.
We didn't get rid of that years ago?
We did not.
All the paint will be stripped, and we'll put on all, obviously.
Yeah. Oh.
And what about the sills themselves on the outside?
The sills on the outside right now, most of them are covered with metal. All the existing metal, what's there, gets removed and thrown away, and we put down brand new metal to match the white. And a lot of those sills are deteriorated underneath. The wood is deteriorated, they'll be replaced as well. Wood underneath will be replaced, and you're going to see a brand new metal sill over all the windows.
And the external casing?
The external casing stays exactly like it is, it's just gonna be scraped.
But it's gonna be painted.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
everything will be painted, yeah. Everything will be painted.
This-
This interior trim won't be touched.
Right,
But
right,
from here out,
the
yes.
external, yeah,
Yep, the complete thing will be painted, yep.
right. Mr. Riggi?
Yes, the operating mechanism, I don't know, if it's a rope and pulleys now underneath.
It is.
Is that gonna be upgraded?
No, they're still gonna be,
Rope
they're gonna be
pulleys?
chains instead of ropes. Chains is just a better, functioning mechanism, but it'll be all upgraded. Most of them are chains now, but you do have some ropes. So we're gonna pull that all apart, make sure the weights are balanced. We'll put in brand new chains, grease them all up. If anything needs to be replaced to make sure they operate properly up and down, we'll do that.
So no chance of any insulation in those cavities then?
There'll be no, there's no work as far as insulating those cavities, no. We just won't get there.
Ms. Linsky-Wilson?
What's the expected life on the new windows, at your restored windows?
They should last quite, with the storm windows on the outside makes a big, big difference. The weather won't touch any of your windows. So
What is the word called for the bar that goes across tube from the outside? Mullion?
the mutton,
Mutton?
okay, the mullion, I'm sorry, where the windows meet,
Correct.
it's the mullion where the windows meet. So your storm windows on the outside will have the same mullion piece, if you will, the same piece that goes across. So oftentimes when you look at windows, you see a window and then a storm window's got a different mullion, and it looks a little weird with the one piece up here and one down there. These are gonna match, we'll make them match.
Okay.
So, you'll still see the storms on the outside, but it's gonna, no weather will.
But it'll be a longer lasting, it'll be, like,
Long
maybe
after
100
you and I
years.
are way gone, yeah.
Perfect, so they can't blame us.
fine.
Other questions?
Very exciting.
Can I have a motion? Moved by Mr. Riggi,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Porterfield. All those in favor? Aye. Any other business to come before government operations? Moved by Mr. Riggi, seconded by Ms. Porterfield. We are
Thank you all very
adjourned.
much. Thank you, gentlemen.
I call to order Public Service and Utilities. Mr. Wallen, again, there's one item on the agenda, supplemental agreement number 2 for element-specific grid repair.
So this is more of a housekeeping finance issue than anything else. This is to accept funding for the pedestrian bridge project, which we did, which was the removal of the 2 city-owned pedestrian bridges between SCCC and GE, and the sealing and repair to the Ultimate Avenue Bridge between us and Rotterdam. We received a supplemental agreement, and I lost it in my inbox, and so now I need to move forward with it so that we can finish up the project paperwork. So this is just to approve all of the construction funding so that we can start to reimburse ourselves.
Questions?
I'll move it.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anything
Yep,
else?
stay right here. Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Something else?
No, hold on.
Anything else to come before Public Service and
Move
Utilities?
adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, then open city planning and development, and first item up is, once again, Mr. Wong.
You're a popular guy today.
It's a revocable,
There's like a music
Don't worry about
light
it,
or something.
we'll run first.
All right, so this is a revocable permit for
First.
the new restaurant in the former Aperitivo location called Grano. It is a blade sign that will go in the approximate location of the existing blade. It's similar in size and scope to what we have on the 400 block. Approved by planning, I have no objections to it.
questions?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay,
Yeah,
Ladies.
Very good.
alrighty. Next item is the review of the local law, Energizing New York Pace. Kristen,
Is this for public hearing?
Okay.
Is that
Oh,
here?
okay.
Any
Public
questions I can answer? This is, in modifying the, local law to conform with changes in the state
Oh, yes.
law. We've done the public hearing, and so now it's just up to council for adoption, but
Well, doesn't this,
So this isn't for the local, we already had the public hearing on this?
usually when it's reviewed, the public hearing doesn't
Coming.
happen.
so I thought we had
Okay.
the public hearing.
It did, we
Had to be
didn't, it had to be rescheduled because
Oh,
of,
it's a meeting I didn't take, so,
okay,
so
all right,
on for the public hearing.
all right,
You have 2 of them.
okay. All
I
right,
apologize.
that's okay. Next item on the agenda is fee waiver for exterior building permits. Mr. Mudavera?
You should have a copy of the proposal that, similar to last year, where we're looking to waive the permit application fee for exterior work and the roofing permit of $100, $56 for exterior work permit, and $100 for roofing permit. Similar to last year, we're looking to the period of July 1st to September 30th, and 1 to 4 unit residential properties, with a 6 months grace period to complete the construction work with no extension.
Questions?
You also have a copy of a report here to show how much we actually give back to the community. It's $20,372, 2018. So, it's something that the homeowners are taking full advantage of, and I think we should roll it out again this year.
Okay, Ms. Peraza.
Yeah, I'm confused. Is it $56 for exterior and $100 for roof? Is that what we're waiving?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not the, and I know there's two parts. So like application fee is being waived, but not the percentage of the work being done.
That's correct.
Okay, any other questions?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Motion to recess.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Call order Finance Committee. The first item on the agenda is a trust and agency for Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. Mr.
Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club is planning on hosting in the city of Schenectady a skills camp in August, I believe, 10th. I can't remember the dates exactly. They are not a not-for-profit, so in order to garner donations, many of the bigger footwear stores and Price Chopper need someone with a 501c3. Since they don't have this, if we can allow them to have this trust and agency account, it will allow them to run all the donations through the city, and any expenditure will have to be paid by the city. So they understand that we do that with, I believe, Mona Gola, with Music Haven, and also I think the greenhouse and maybe the Rose Garden, I'm not sure.
Dale Park.
Yeah, so we'll have to approve any expenditure. There won't be much. The main one, this is going to, they'll be able to handle up to 50 kids, ages 7 through 12, and they'll also, for kids in need, part of what the expenditure will be, they're going to pay for the registration to Schenectady Little League. So that'll help these kids get started. Because it's pretty exciting. It's like $125, $150 now, I think, for registration. So that'll help. And they're going to kick in themselves $1,500 towards this. I think they're ballparking, I think, in the neighborhood of $600 or $6,500 to run this camp for 2 days. All the coaches are they're donating their time, but there's still going to be some expenditure. So this will be a good thing for the children. It'll also help, hopefully, jumpstart some interest in youth baseball again. So I think it would be a good thing, and I hope we can, have this approved.
Are there any questions?
I'll move this.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is the 2019 budget amendment to replace the vacant position of clerk's office. That was Warren.
Okay. Shirley Park, who is our registrar, is retiring on June 15th, coincidentally the same day as I'm retiring. But this retirement was not anticipated. As a consequence, there's a significant buyout of accrued vacation, and I believe sick time too. So without amending the budget, the department would have to go weeks with a vacancy in there. And given the fact that I'm going to be gone and Shirley's going to be gone, it would be a significant hardship. And almost, it would be impossible to run that office. It wouldn't just be a hardship. And then the other part of it is that we're asking that the position be upgraded to an IPS-3, and there's a few reasons for that. One is that there was a flurry of that upgrading last year within the city in the OGS department. The reason being is you've got more flexibility with that position than the IPS-2. Another problem that exists right now is there is no list for IPS2. There's no current list. So we're a hire to be made in 2 weeks. It's conceivable that that person maybe takes a test in 6 months, spends 6 months being trained, doesn't pass the test, and then has to be replaced. And the job that the job that is replacing is the registrar is or the deputy registrar rather, is responsible for all of the death certificates and all of the marriage certificates and all of the coordinator according to the state for that. Again, this $9,700 is an estimate, but I think we're within a couple of $100 of what the buyout is going to be. My understanding is that it can't be calculated exactly until after the retirement date. But again, we're asking that that this amendment be made and then the job title be upgraded.
Ms. Barraza?
So what is the IPS 2 position at currently, and then what is the budget line for the IPS 3 position?
My understanding is that the way it tops out, it's about a $4,000 difference between the two positions. Can't really say what this position would do, because if there was an internal transfer, it might be somebody that's part way up the ladder. If it's a new person coming in, then it would be at the bottom of the scale.
But essentially, we have to put something into the budget. Really, we have to do some kind of amendment to put that pay rate somewhere, right?
Yeah, well, the $9,700, yeah, needs.
So this will come back around when someone's hired in the IPS 3?
No, it would.
I'm saying
No,
what dollar amount?
It would be an estimate that
Okay.
that you're doing.
Ms. Porterfield?
Is there a current list for the IPS 3?
My understanding is that the test was made and the list is being compiled right now. So, yes, and they're saying it should be ready within a week or two.
Okay, thank you.
My only suggestion is that, given that this is an upgrade position, that the budget for 2020 not include a raise for this position, given it's halfway through the year and it is upgrade, that you hold the position line, or the salary line.
For the IPS 3.
Right, for the IPS 3, yeah.
Okay.
Unless longevity, right, by contract?
Yeah.
Well, if it's a new hire, I can certainly understand that. But if it turns out to be an internal transfer, then that person.
Well, I was assuming, yeah, I guess in my mind, I was assuming a new hire, so.
Covered by a collective bargain.
Yeah. And that's right, too. It's a CSEA.
Steps, right?
Right, it's not going to be something.
Private sector versus public sector. Mr. Kosher?
So again, so it's 9,700, so let's assume 4,000 is for the increase of the position, so the other 5,700 is for the sick time and vacation time that we're paying back, is that correct? Or is this 9,700 all for the position itself?
No, the 9,700 is.
Both, right?
The 9,700 is the buyout. Normally,
It's the buyout.
Good point. We have to have
Yeah.
some sort of to
Yeah.
amend for that.
Right.
but without that 9,700, it's charged against the salary, which means hiring a person wouldn't be able to, and let's say the job was $1,000 a week, then you wouldn't be able to hire a person for 10 weeks. So there would be a vacancy in there for 10 weeks.
And Chair, the difference is Mr. Thorne, or Mr. Pellemin is outlined as approximately $4,000 at most, which would be roughly half a year. So we're talking about at most $2,000. In fact, bottom of the scale is going to be virtually no change. At the top of the scale would be 2,000, which is probably not going to happen. So it's a relatively small amount. I don't anticipate it being a problem. We'll make it work. If it's not a minuscule amount, we'll come back to the council and have it modified. Otherwise, we'll just deal with it this year and then have it reflected in the 2020 budget, whatever the actual staffing is.
So a likely potential cost of $11,700.
order,
Right.
yeah, that's
No,
fine.
it's- in fact, it's
97 being the payback.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Any other questions?
I'll move this.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And lastly, amend the budget to include a new position, Neighborhood Stabilization Coordinator, under the Department of Development with Mayor.
Thank you. This is a form of a grant application we put in, which we have not received word on yet, but it's to try and get the paperwork and the staffing budget amendments lined up in the event we get a favorable review on it. If we don't get a favorable review board, then I would not fill the position.
Are there any questions? Yes. Ms. Carrazzo?
Is there something built into the grant funding that would cover the salary
Yes,
of this person?
Correct.
Okay, so it's part of the grant, because sometimes it is,
Yeah,
sometimes it
right,
isn't.
it's wholly, this would solely be in the grant. If we don't get the grant, this won't be there, but
Yes.
some other money also.
And there'll be language in the legislation that'll say if we don't get the grant, then the position won't be filled.
Ms. Porterfield?
And how long is this, grant for, grant period?
I don't,
2 years? 4 years?
I,
He's
well,
going
those
to go
are,
behind you.
again, those, until it's awarded,
Mhm.
those are anticipated scenarios, so it's still, the application is looking for a multi-year, but until we get the award, I don't make those assumptions.
So would this position then be, what would be the plans for like filling position internally, or are we would look to hire someone since it's maybe a
Looking
short time frame?
Internally, my option would be to probably promote from within the end of the grant, we revert back to what the current staffing is. So people would hold it in a temporary position.
So now I need to clarify. So, position for the year would be 60,000. Right. So if someone's making 54, they would be promoted to 60 for the, whatever number year the grant,
Duration of the grant.
and then they would revert back to their
Back
old
to-
salary?
Correct. Or what the current salary is for that position, should it be, again, this would be covered by potentially collective bargaining. So there could be some cost of living adjustments.
Any other, Mr. Iggy?
Yeah, thank you. So, let me get my head straight on this. If you fill from within and you're gonna move somebody else into this position, then you're gonna have to backfill that position
Yep.
that this person came from,
Yes.
at current salary that this position's paying, I assume.
Maybe that might be a little bit less. Sometimes people are up a step. So if you put somebody into a position, it might go to first.
Would you make that change from within too?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
The thing that you're saying that.
Ms. Porterfield?
So, this is obviously a position we don't currently have, so, is the job description just being created as part of the grant, or is this a position that, I don't know, done other places and therefore we have a,
Yes, this is done through civil service, correct? Yes. Right, so the civil, job description has gone through and been approved by civil service, and this is looking for the corresponding budget.
Anything further?
I'll move this.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I will call to order the Committee on Administrative Efficiency. 2 items before us, the Youth Advisory Board process. I sent it out a little bit late, but we finally got the version, I think, that we've all come to agreement on. I do have hard copies here if anybody needs a hard copy.
Yeah, I didn't-
And then, oh, that's right, yeah, your email got kicked back there. Chuck, if you can pass it, or Jan, or whatever. And then, I sent an additional email. We were able to convert this form, so that the applicants, can actually complete it right online. It's a fillable form that they can complete right online without having to do the paper piece, do everything online, and then email it right back, to us. We're gonna hold it till September. because with the graduations coming up and exams coming up, it was felt that we wait till the September year when the school year starts again, we'll be able to have the students in the proper grades and we can move forward. But again, I think the high school is very, very excited about the opportunity for us to do this. And I think it's something that we've been lacking as a city, to hearing from our youth, sitting down with them. And again, this came out of the Schenectady Foundation Summit that was last year, was on the top of their list as far as creating a youth advisory board at the city so that we can hear this voice. And so we'll just show it to you, and again, we'll move on this in September, and then we'll create the board from there. All right, yeah, Mr. President.
What city staff is gonna oversee the
I'm sorry?
board? How is it gonna function within the city staff, this board?
So again, as we meant, as the layout says on the first, we're gonna have 2 members of the city council that the council president will appoint. And then we'll hopefully have 1 person from the mayor's office, 3 business folks, and then a dozen of students themselves. And we're gonna try to meet at the high school, because obviously transportation is the most difficult piece. And again, we're gonna be working with, we'll come up with the whole concept, layout, and agenda, and so forth.
And I apologize, I didn't get a chance to see this, but I assume there's a chair of some sort that will make sure that the byproducts of the meeting actually get to the right place and the right
That's
people
correct.
and,
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll have all that spelled out for everybody.
yeah, okay.
All right, but again, just to get the process going, I think it'll be very exciting for the city and getting your voices. So, all right, there's no need to vote on that because we moved that before. And then the last one, this might be some discussion. Resolution recognizing Chuck Thorne in service as a city clerk. Any discussion on this?
Do we have to let him go?
It's up to the mayor. The mayor doesn't have to accept his retirement, does he? His signature. I think his wife might have something to say. Me?
I work
Wow.
with pleasure of the council.
That's true, you do.
But we don't want to go.
Well, there you go. So, again, we'll have that. I just need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Again, second by John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Reluctantly.
Struggle with the second.
I did.
Reluctant second.
Very reluctant.
I like that, it's struggle.
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Palmetti, second by Karen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Regan, I don't think there's any other claims, is there? No, we're doing good.
Karen.
Oh, we need to reopen, the, planning and development.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second,
All in favor? We are in executive session.
There you go.
Why did I think it was 6:30?
Oh, I don't know. We didn't get very.
4 years later.